Good morning. It's Saturday, November 7th, 2020. A few days after the election, I just went out to get a little exercise. This is Rincon. We had a little rain shower, and the surf picked up. Probably call it a wind swirl. I don't know. The wind is coming from that direction, blowing north to south, or rather west to east. Not a real fancy camera, but maybe you get the idea. Yeah, probably 6 feet. Fairly good shape considering the wind. The wind's kind of blowing it out. Outside. Back when I was surfing, some of these just probably considered average would probably be considered very top flight. I remember watching Dewey Weber, Greg Knoll. Some of you people probably never heard of them. I remember Greg Knoll. I was out at Malibu, 1963. Swell came through, and it probably was really not any bigger than this. Maybe 8 feet. But anyway, I remember Greg Knoll coming out of the water. He was a big deal back then, known for big waves. Big wave back then was 30 feet, 30, maybe 40 tops. I just happened to see a video of a guy surfing a wave that was over 100 feet. World record. Incredible. But back in my day, they didn't have any way to get in and catch those waves. Now they tow them in. Anyway, I'm glad I got out of the house. Seems like it's a little calm spell here. I'll give it a couple minutes and then get out of here. I like this here. Anybody knows Rincon, familiar with this? This looks really 1960s. Beach blanket, bingo, Gidget. Very rustic, simple. Surfboards down there. 101 traffic. It's a new bike path. Well, I guess it's not new anymore. I don't know, opened maybe 5 years ago. Maybe more. I lose track of time. Thought it would never happen. Oh, back to the surf. Sorry. But anyway, we thought the bike path would never happen, and we call that a goofy foot. I could never, I guess it's like being left-handed or something. Anyway, I did a lot of bike riding for the last almost 20 years. We had a big ride that we had to ride on the freeway. Well, not here, but yeah. We'd get on the freeway right back there at Rincon and ride all the way down to, past Lock and Cheeto ways. Same thing on the way back. It was uncomfortable, but in a way it was kind of a rush. Wow, look at there. That probably would have been considered, you know, top flight. Now they do incredible things. Weber, trying to remember the names, Phil Edwards. I know a lady lives in La Conchita, Linda Merrill. She's up there now in years, but just like me. But anyway, she was one of the very best. Very nice lady. She served with, she was a partner with Mike Doyle. I went to college with him. I used to see him at Long Beach State. In the I was there from 64 to 66. Big, tall, good-looking guy. Quiet. You know, it wasn't a big show-off. It seems to me there was another guy wore a suit and was fully dressed in a suit and tie. No shoes. He brought a skateboard around the campus. At Long Beach State, 64 to 1966. Sorry, this wind. I don't know, it gets windy like this. Yeah, I think it's allergies. My eyes don't work too well. Get all messed up. Oh, now that was me. That's more my style. This is a really not a great camera, but I guess it's a panoramic or something view. It's kind of a fishbowl effect. You know, I was thinking about the politics. In reality, I mean, people are really wired up. I mean, tense about this whole thing, including me. I think the election was stolen. Definitely. Not great. Not that I vote, but I'm a libertarian. But in a way, I'm 77 years old. I've seen these things happen over and over again, and it seems like people are happy when their person wins, and yet nothing really much changes. Yeah, some minor things happen, but you're still paying your taxes. Public schools are still mandatory. You don't have, you know, they take your money to pay for that brainwashing. In my opinion, it's a brainwashing. You know, it's very cruel to children. I hated it. But because kids are active, you know, they want to be outside, and they're human beings, aren't they? They have their own interests, and it's all discouraged. In the government school, it's all really meant to turn out a workforce, obedient, non-inquisitive, you know, do what you're told, citizenry. And it works beautifully. In fact, I was looking at the returns that under age 30, 35, people are really in the United States, people are favoring socialism, or they might call themselves democratic socialists or whatever. However they want to try and cover for it, it's no good. It never has worked. I remember in the 60s. I hope you're enjoying this surfing. You can just turn off my rant. But in the 60s, we had quite a few there were a lot of leftists back then. It seems to be a phenomenon that happens with the youth. I mean, it was really chaotic in the 60s. Wow, there's a good surfer, huh? Oh my God, huh? I hope this is coming out. That guy, now that's like Dewey Weber style ability back in the day. Just whipping that board around. But anyway, in the 60s, just quickly, it just seemed like the comparison, it's like, don't you see what's happening over there in Russia, Soviet Union, or in East Germany? People are locked in. That's what socialism is. There's no freedom. You'll be locked in. You can't leave the country. And here, it's getting increasingly difficult. My passport expired a while back, and I'm not going to get another one. But now I understand. You know, we used to go into Canada and Mexico. You didn't need a passport. I mean, just to go across the border, yeah, you did. I had to go get one to go further down into Mexico. So, but Canada, and I don't know if you can go there now. So, states around the globe are very similar. They're kind of like, I remember one guy said, it's a, you're on a game preserve. They got you. And they sell it as something fabulous, you know, citizenship, flags, songs, and so on. And it's all really a bunch of bullshit. Keep you obedient. I served in the Army back when they had a draft. And a lot of us, I went in for 6 months. Because that way you thought you'd get out of the draft. And mostly it worked. I was lucky it worked because Vietnam came along and I had already done it in 1961. I joined. And I served active from February 62 until August of 1962. And I was in the heavy weapons. That was the 81 millimeter, the 4.2 inch millimeter, 106 millimeter recoilless rifle. Qualified expert. I did. As a gunner. Anyway, but when you look back on it, you go, what a bunch of bullshit. You know, you had no choice. I mean, what kind of freedom is that? No, women don't have to sign up for it, and yet there's no draft, but all the men in this country have to sign up for the draft. They can call you. They can make you do whatever they want. Put you in the Army. And it as relatively easy compared to anybody that went over, you know, in combat. Even what I did was pretty traumatic. I didn't like it. But it was a learning experience. I don't regret having had that learning experience. But there's some, I enjoy learning things in life, but I've thought about that. There's some experience, like what we've gone through. Man, I've learned more about humankind and about life in the last 8 months than I probably learned my whole life before that. I see a whole different side of politics, humanity, human behavior. Oh, it's been mind-boggling. But there's some experiences, you know, I don't want the experience of combat or prison or torture or murder, you know, count me out. I don't need that experience. I don't know. I think maybe the battery's running down. I hope you got some good surfing pictures out of here. Oh, yeah, just closing about changing of the guard that I've seen a number of times. Things don't really, it's just like, oh yeah, and if your person wins, you know, it's just like you slap that face that you like on top of the government and you're happy, but they're still screwing you, pretty much. But you're happy because your side won. And then the other side fights, and then they slap their happy face on the president, and they're happy no matter how bad they're getting hosed. Strange. All right. Thank you. I think the main thing to remember, I have to remind myself of this, is to just let it all go. Let all that go. Just realize you're just a little soul, little person who was blessed with the gift of life. And try to keep it simple. You know, look at the clouds, sun, those flowers, the bougainvillea. Look at it. Look at the beauty. Huh? The ocean. Those avocado trees over there. That's above La Conchita. I could go on about that. But, so anyway, I have to remind myself that. And whether anybody's paying attention to me or, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can just be with myself. And we all can just cut it all loose. Just be within yourself, content and grateful. And look at this. I'm getting all choked up. I'm choking myself up here. All right. So long.